my name is Jasmine and it's spooky season, so I plan on making squishies but with a Halloween twist. There's a lot of different aspects of Halloween that I think I can pull inspiration from. I'm really excited to see what I create, so let's just get straight into things. Let's start with this squishy. It screams Halloween. Halloween! Do you see the potential I'm seeing? It looks like a person wearing a cat costume. I'm going to be making this costume the spookiest type of cat there is. A black cat. I think black cats are adorable, especially in pictures when it's just a black ball of fur with some eyes staring back. October is actually Black Cat Awareness Month because black cats are less likely to be adopted. Black cats just need more love and to be able to find their forever homes. Anyways, as for the one wearing the costume, I'm going to be giving her human features. I'm going to start by painting her skin and hair, and at some point, I thought this was looking a bit too washed out, so I wanted to add some more color. I gave her hair some pink streaks and used that same pink for some of the cat's details. It was also so satisfying to clean up the costume line. For this squishy, I wanted a super expressive face because she is scared. When she's trick-or-treating, she will skip the houses that are decorated too scary because she's a scaredy cat. As for the cat's face, I wanted it to look like a costume. More specifically, I did not want this to look like a real cat that was eating her. So I made a super simple face, just some eyes, a mouth, and some whiskers. I also didn't give the eyes a highlight, this way they would look more flat. And with my signature, she's all done. I love this scaredy cat. Her face is probably my favorite part. It adds so much personality. I just want to give her a big hug. She looks so scared. Unfortunately, she is a squishy. Maybe that's why she's scared of me, since I'm gonna squish her. Well, now I feel bad. No wonder she's so scared. I'm squishing her. Maybe I'll just appreciate her. Overall, I'm just really happy with how this squishy came out. My next squishy is this pumpkin. I want it to be a jack-o'-lantern. I know it's already a jack-o'-lantern, but it's October and I want to experience carving a pumpkin. So I'm going to be drawing my own design for the face. I do kind of have to work around the face it already has, but this turned out cute. So to actually carve this, I'm making small cuts down around the outline that I drew, then I tore up the foam from there. I'm focused on keeping the outline cut smooth, but I don't mind if the rest has texture, because that's like its insides, it's the pumpkin's guts. This exposed foam does still need to get covered, so I'm pretty much drowning it in puffy paint. And after a few coats, it was nice and smooth, making it ready for a base coat. The white paint always shows the leftover texture, but I was pleasantly surprised. I think the carving actually turned out nice. For the pumpkin, I decided to go with a strong orange. I've actually customized a few pumpkins off camera already. One of them I painted to have this realistic texture, and I wanted this jack-o'-lantern to kind of match that. So once I have this nice orange color built up, I start the shading. I'm going to be using this orangey brown color to darken the indents. I'm putting a lot of the brown on the line and then blending it out. I love how this looks since it makes it look weathered. I also wanted to make the bottom of the pumpkin darker since it's like more in the shadows. I actually used a dry brush so that it would leave a more streaky brush stroke. I put a lot more shading around the carving because I decided to paint the carving yellow and I wanted it to pop. The original had a black carving and I was kind of torn on what color to do, but the black was too harsh and I liked the idea of have the jack-o'-lantern looking like it's lit up from the inside. So I went with the yellow. To make it look extra glowing, I blended in a little bit of white to the center. The stem I made brown and added some texture with light brown, and with my signature, this squishy is done. I loved how this jack-o'-lantern turned out. This is so fun to squish because it distorts the face and makes it look silly. I had fun coming up with my own design for the face. I had fun carving the squishy, even if it was a lot more awkward than carving a real pumpkin. He also matches one of my other pumpkins I painted, and they look so cute together. Here are all of the pumpkins I've made so far together. I've been trying to get more spooky decor for my place, and so this works out great. I got to paint a squishy, which I probably would have done anyway, and I got some fall decor out of it. For my final squishy, we have the grand finale. I've grabbed these 3 squishies because these squishies have synergy. They are meant to come together to create a monster. These matching squishies will be giving their heads to this body. Say goodbye. Oh well, out with the old and in with the new. Let's prepare the body for its new heads. I'm making a nice divot for each of the heads to sit in, and that's looking nice. Now this koala, its previous owners tried to fix up its neck tear, and they sealed it up with some glue that dried very hard. And that's a no-go. I'm getting rid of the glue. Luckily, I have some smooth foam from creating the divots in the body, and I'm going to use that squishy flesh to fill in this gouge smoothly. Let's create the new monster by binding these squishies together. I glued them with fabric glue and rubber banded the pieces together to dry. I need to fully seal these squishies together by sealing them up with puffy paint. I also used puffy paint practically over the entire squishy. The dinosaur squishy especially was just covered in cracks. I think this squishy is so soft that it's fragile, and I just didn't want the cracks to impact the final texture, so I covered that up with puffy paint. I also needed to fill in the old face because this is now a chest. It can't have a face. And with the base coat, it's finally ready. I had a hard time finding the right color. I tried this blue, but I got fed up with how many coats it was taking, and it didn't really match the vibe that I was going for, so I tried a muted green, but it just kept drying too dark. After lightening the color a few times, I thought I was happy. I even put a full coverage of this color, but eventually I had to come to terms with the fact that it was still too dark. I'm glad I lightened it more. Now I can use the last shade for the darker parts. I added different facial markings to the 2 heads. At this point, I had been prepping this squishy alone for days, and so once I reached the point where I was painting designs, I genuinely forgot what their original species were. And so I just kind of made an assumption. They look like a cat and a panda head. That's what I saw, and so I just went with it. I put a nice light belly on, mostly to reinforce that this is not the old squishy's face, but is instead the new squishy's body, torso, chest, if you will. That made it feel more cohesive to me. I also tied in the lighter color to the ears. I was going to give them different expressions, but I kind of thought it would be more creepy if I leaned into them being twins, so I gave them identical blank expressions. And with my signature, this is all done. I really don't know what kind of monster this is. The mismatch of bodies is giving Frankenstein. The idea of 2 heads growing out of one body makes me think this is like a result of exposure to radiation. This could also be a zombie because of the green color. It's really confusing. Radiation, zombie, Frankenstein monster. I can't tell, I don't know. But this is really cute, I think. This squishy is easily the softest squishy that I own. It is so slow rising. At first, I wasn't too fond of the arm. I thought it was a bit awkward, but it's actually grown on me. I think it looks like he's being polite, like a little butler or somebody bowing at the end of a concert. My husband thinks it looks like he's rubbing his belly. Maybe he ate too much Halloween candy and has a really big tummy ache. I had big dreams for this squishy, but when everything came together, it was a little less exciting than I had hoped. But now that I've sat with it for a little bit, I think the simplicity of the paint job works for the uniqueness of the squishy shape here. And it's definitely spooky. I'm sorry about how stuffy I've sounded. I caught a cold when I needed to record my voiceover. These are my Halloween squishies. I feel like they each represent different parts of the holiday. Dressing up to go trick-or-treating with the Scaredy Cat, decorating your porch with a carved pumpkin,
and all the scary creatures that are icons of Halloween. How this makes each squishy different and distinct from one another. And I feel like you could tell these are all Halloween squishies without me having to tell you. I'm really fond of how these all came out for my spooky squishies, and I'm happy to be adding all of these squishies to my collection.
Thank you so much for watching till this point in the video, and I wish you a happy Halloween.